I bought a house outside Pittsburgh to renovate and sell. The budget was $70,000. The plan was 2 months. 5 months in, I had already spent more than the entire budget. The house still wasn't finished. The gas still wasn't connected. And my partner was about to tell me he had to leave for another job. After the delay with the second draw, Mark finally understood what I had been telling him from the start. Send the photos fast, the draw comes fast. Simple as that. $20,000 came in. The work moved forward. I was on the road, as always. The only way I saw the house was through the photos he sent me. The photos showed real progress. Floors, walls, ceilings. Things were moving inside. That's why I kept waiting. I could see the work was real, so I didn't ask too many questions. 2 months passed. I asked him where things stood. He said he needed 1 more month. He had an answer for that. This is a flip. There are always surprises. Nobody can guarantee anything. But the house was empty from day one. All the utilities were disconnected. Water, gas, electricity. Everything was visible from the start. There was nothing hidden. Even after he opened up the walls and pulled up the floors, he still kept saying 2 months. I reminded him, "You said 2 months." He backtracked, said he had meant 2 or 3. Around the same time, he said we could move forward with the gas connection. I submitted the application myself. The gas company said they would come out within 2 weeks. 2 weeks passed. Nobody showed up. I called. They said they would come the following week. A week passed. Nobody. I called again. They said 1 more week. Meanwhile, the work inside continued. Floors, walls, ceilings, bathrooms, the utility room, the furnace. Photos kept coming in every few days. I watched all of it from the truck cab. The house was changing. But by the end of November, the gas company still hadn't moved. No siding on the house either. It was still wrapped in house wrap. I asked him again about the timeline. He said we would list the house by New Year. Sell it after. Those were his words. Early December. I had already brought up air conditioning several times. He kept saying it wasn't necessary. People in Pittsburgh live without it. Everyone does. But we were selling this house. A buyer expects air conditioning. Without it, we'd be at a disadvantage. I explained this more than once. He had a different view of what the finished house needed to look like. And there was one more thing. I had been to his home. He had a window unit installed there. He had put it in himself. Pittsburgh gets hot in the summer. Meanwhile, the money kept going out. Some for materials, some for labor, some was his personal payment. But one thing I'll say. When we agreed on the terms, his fee was $7,500 a month. The plan was 2 months, $15,000 total. By the end of December, 4 months had passed. September, October, November, December. He never asked me for $7,500 for each of those months. He stuck to what we had agreed at the beginning. The draws from the lender came in as we submitted photo reports. Before Christmas, the third draw came through, $15,000. No delay this time because we sent the report on time. By Christmas, I had transferred $68,000 to him. The loan was for $70,000. The lender had held back around $8,500 in fees. The rest came in installments. By Christmas, I was already adding my own money on top of the loan. But we still had 1 draw left. $5,000. He told me the money would be enough. Said we were on track. The house would be ready by New Year. We would sell it after the holidays. That's what I planned around. On Christmas, I bought out the truck I had been driving. I paid cash. Every free dollar I had went into it. I made that decision based on what he had been telling me. The money is enough. We're on schedule. The house will be ready by New Year. I wasn't planning to put any more of my own money into the house. The truck is a tool. It's how I earn a living. That decision made sense then. It still makes sense now. In early January, right after the holidays, a message came in. He needed $15,000, $3,000 of it for his own salary. I read it twice. Before New Year, he had been telling me we were fine, on track, ready to sell after the holidays. And now $15,000. Said it like it was nothing, just another request. I had nothing left. I had just bought out the truck. Everything went into it. I hadn't earned $1 yet in the new year. I told him there was no money. None at all. He wrote back that he would go find some work somewhere in the meantime. Right then, I knew one thing. This project will get finished, one way or another. But there won't be a second project with him. I called the lender the same day, explained the situation. My partner says he needs $15,000 more and the house will be done. Can you release the last draw? The lender said, put in 10 of your own first. Then I'll add my 5. I get it. That's just how hard money works. He doesn't need an unfinished house. He needs the house finished and sold so he gets his money back. But the way I saw it, even the last $5,000 wouldn't come on its own. To get it, I had to put in more of my own first. I figured something out. The lender released the last draw, $5,000. I forwarded it right away, plus $6,000 of my own on top, $11,000 in January. At the same time, I finally got the gas company moving. I had been dealing with their local office for months. Lost applications, missed appointments. 2 weeks became 3, then nothing. I wrote a letter directly to the company's headquarters. Explained everything. How long I had been waiting. How many times they hadn't shown up. How they had lost my application and made me start over. That's when things finally moved. They sent back specific requirements. A service installation record. A pressure test from a licensed plumber. Not a promise. An actual list. Around the same time, Mark said he wanted to install a different kind of siding. Something that would stand out. He sent a photo of a single panel. Hard to judge quality from one photo. But it was in the budget, and he was the one doing the work. I agreed. It finally looked like something was actually happening. But by then I had already made up my mind. I didn't want a future with Mark. I wanted an ending. The gas company had finally started moving. The last money was coming through. The house still needed work, but it felt close enough to finish. I didn't want to start a fight. Not then. Not with the house still unfinished. So when he said he was leaving for another job and would come back later, I let it sit there. I just wanted this house finished.